Today, VR refers to immersive experiences using headsets such as VR or the Vive. Uh, it's so as they were talked about earlier, so I won't go too in depth on that. But let's talk about presence, which is a very important concept in virtual reality. The concept of immersion is thrown around a lot when it comes to game or any sort of medium you experience in some way. Usually used very interchangeably with presence, but as Michael Ebrich said, chief scientist at Nicklas during one of the talks, presence is when your perceptual systems believes that the experience you're experiencing are real. So if you're standing in virtual reality at a cliff's edge of some kind, and you feel your legs locking up, that is presence. Even though you're safe and sound in your room, you still feel that innate fear. So immersion is sort of the split side of that, being the mental absorption into the media, while presence is your body believing it's true on a fundamental level. So co-presence then is when we feel on a fundamental level that we're in the same room as others. I have a sense of co-presence with all of you because we're in the same room and we are physically together. This is a very important concept in multiplayer VR, especially in the context of collaboration. How much do you feel that the virtual characters you are interacting with are real people, not just simulated agents? So I wanted to see whether using this current virtual reality technology could be a good tool for creating a collaborative space. I felt that using this technology would be great for fostering a sense of presence in the users in the virtual space and to potentially help with long-distance collaboration and meetings. And I want to know specifically how this system stacks up to doing similar tasks in real life and using other long-distance meeting tools such as Skype or something similar voice application. As such, this project is heavily focused on fostering a sense of presence and co-presence in the users. A lot of factors have been shown to be important for collaborative virtual environments, are very important to create a good sense of presence, co-presence. This include being able to understand others' action, also called shared context. So when you pick up an object and manipulate it in virtual reality, the other people in the virtual space with you sees and experiences that same action. Being able to understand others' viewpoints and focus of attention, what they're looking at and what they're focusing on, and not only directly but also peripherally, so you can work on something and experience what other people are experiencing peripherally. Another important part of the co-presence and collaborative virtual environments are non-verbal communication, such as body language. Well, that's pretty limited with the current technology. You can still get some measure out of it with the head tracking and the hand tracking. Since it has been shown that presence and co-presence are correlated, although clear cause haven't been identified, personally I think it makes sense to be easier to feel like you're in a room with other people if you feel like you're there yourself and the other way around. As co-presence is predicated on features that are important for collaborative virtual environments, and co-presence and co-presence are features that must be taken into account when developing and testing collaborative virtual systems. So, the finished prototype. So, a quick video. Objects can be picked up and manipulated. They are physics dependent and can be moved as such. Movement are done via teleportation. You point where you want to go and then you go there. A whiteboard was implemented. This is because this is a very common tool for meetings, for brainstorming ideas or writing down meeting notes. By activating a laser on your hand, you can interact with menu items, clear the whiteboard, change color of markers, change thickness, which will be shown on the whiteboard. A personal menu can be made to appear, like so. Here you can quit the game from within the system. You can capture the whiteboard, save a snapshot. You can save and load images that have already been placed into the world, and you can enter the files in order to plot images, such as the snapshot that was just taken, and other images. You can also browse through the file system in order to find other images. The images can then be moved around and resized as such. And the borders can then be removed in order to be placed where you would want it. So, a range of quality tests were conducted on the prototype, with user both experience and inexperienced with regard. I need to understand how the users experience the system during development to sort of guide it. In the image, you can see the presentation that Fredrik did, which was the first test of the system in any way. Both of the first two tests were conducted before multiplayer and before later. Meant to test some features by pinpointing future features. This was done during presentations, sort of like Greg explained earlier. Looked at the images and showed it to the audience. The idea of saving and loading images were taken from these images, as well as the spectating mode, which Greg talked about earlier. For the multiplayer tests, the 4 multiplayer tests were done to evaluate the design. The first being a long-distance meeting with a doctor from England to test whether using the system on networks not connected to the school network specifically would cause latency issues. But it second test was done during game jam and continue with 5 people in the room at a time, also with pretty long distance with people in Grimstad and Oslo. And the third test were with 3 people in space, which helped with some being very novice to the system, which some relatively feel like. And the last test was another presentation here too, but this time with multiple people in the space. There were also, during this semester, someone who used this system throughout the semester for meetings. I gave them a self-ethics test to answer, but I only got 2 responses in the end. So I don't know if, so I would say that those results are fairly not valid. But if they were, they would look good, yes. I also did sort of comparative test between 3 different environments during the game jam, where I compared users' experience in different environments solving a puzzle. The feedback from the tests were fairly positive. For presentations, which I wasn't really planning on testing for anyway, seemed to be less anxiety, sense of freedom, but some people experienced nausea, some people found it annoying, some people found it engaging. Can't really say anything about that. For multiple user tests, usually fairly positive. Co-presence were observed and discussed. And some feedback relating to the implementations were that they were difficult to keep track of people when there were more than 3 people in the room. And some users had problems with controls. And could be difficult to manipulate the menu system. This is more related to specific implementations rather than the concept of the system as a whole. For the puzzle test that the people at the game jam did, virtual reality was fairly much slower than others, but the users preferred collaborating with VR or audio chat, as they had no communication during the audio chat. So I also did a proper experiment with 4 different groups of 3. The experiments were partially designed based on Schroeder and the company's design from 2001, in which he compared 3 different virtual reality systems in collaboration. First, the participants were asked to answer an immersive tendencies questionnaire, which were designed to measure a person's tendency to immerse in a medium activity. Participants were given 3 different puzzles with 6 by 6 puzzle pieces to solve in 3 different environments. In real life, using audio chat software, and in virtual reality. After each puzzle, the participants were asked to answer a questionnaire designed by Schroeder to measure their self-perceived co-presence, presence, sense of collaboration, and task contribution. Lastly, the participants were asked to answer a presence questionnaire in order to gain a better understanding of their sense of presence in virtual reality. All questions were answered on a Likert scale. 12 people participated in the experiments, all know. The evaluation of the results were done for the most part using Friedman's tests as a non-parametric alternative to one-way analysis with repeated measures. Well, if significant differences were found within the 3 environments, the Coxon signed rank tests were run on pairwise on the 3 different environments, just as a non-parametric alternative to pair t-test. Since the Coxon were repeated on repeated answers from the same group of people multiple times, both for only correction as applied, in essence lowering the alpha or the significance level from 5% to 1.7%, in order to compensate for potential errors with measuring the same group multiple times. There were no correlation found between presence and immersive tendencies. There are multiple potential reasons for this, but in essence, it means that the immersive tendencies questionnaire had no real bearing on these experiments. The results of the presence questionnaire were high, with participants experiencing a high degree of presence, with median results across all factors being above 75%. There are 4 main factors scored in the Schroeder test, which were task contribution, collaboration, presence, and co-presence. The real life and VR environment scored very high, significantly higher than the audio chat across all factors, except in task contribution, where everything scored equally, showing no participants had no real feeling of the task contribution being lower. Or higher in any of the systems, which scored real life and VR also did not score significantly different. They did not score significantly different from each other, except for in one of the questions where in one of the collaboration questions related to enjoyment, where VR actually outscored real life, which was surprising. Well, seemingly meaning that indicating that the participants enjoyed the VR puzzle more than the real life puzzle. Yeah. So for the co-presence and presence factor, real life and VR both outscored audio chat completely, with no significant difference between each other. With the collaboration factor, VR significantly outscored audio chat in all the questions. Although real life did not necessarily significantly differ from the results of the audio chat in two of the questions. The two other questions that are not related to enjoyment. Yeah. In conclusion, this system may not have a future as an amazing presentation tool, but it wasn't really designed for that anyway. Although the results of that could present an indication of its potential as a long-distance education tool, that would really need much further research. As a collaborative meeting tool, it seems better, with most users once they get used to the system, interacting with the world in a genuinely fluent way, as well as each other, with people maintaining eye contact with their heads, pointing at their areas of focus, with hand movements, hand and head movements was observed to be used to communicate. Some body language. You can't really get facial expressions yet. Experiment and observational results shows a significant degree of co-presence and presence, showing that this sort of system is current virtual reality system could have a great potential. However, this experiment had some issues relating to only having 12 participants, first of all, lowering its potential validity. Having a continuous having between subject assignment, with all participants participating in all different environments. So, as I said, this system could have great potential as a tool for raising user engagement and communication during long-distance collaboration and meetings. And I feel like these results are great indicators of that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for the presentation. I'd like to start with